In an interesting turn of events today, the rest of Legacy United Wave 3 was leaked last night with the Magnius retool and the Vector Prime JaAxis retool, which I'll give you guys a separate thoughts video on Vector Prime later on today. So that's all I'll say about that, but I have a lot to say about what they chose to do to my boy Vector Prime, but I'll save that for the next video today. But what I want to talk about in this video is the Studio Series pipeline reveals, because this is basically the big meat and potatoes of today's stream, because everything else from Wave 3 leaked. I already talked about Hotshot yesterday, so if you want to check that video out, it's on the channel. This is basically all of Studio Series Wave 3 supposed to be dropping later on this summer or early fall. And boy, oh boy, this wave is already causing a bit of interesting discussion on the Transformers community on social media, to say the least. But before I talk about Studio Series, there was one miscellaneous pipeline reveal for the comic subline. That's the Hasbro Pulse exclusive line for this year. And that is none other than the boy himself, STRAXUS. He's been rumored to be dropping in the Generations line for the past 3 years now. I remember way back in 2021 when I covered the leaked listings for the first year of Legacy. He was supposed to be the Wave 1 or Wave 2 leader, I think, but he got pulled and he was replaced with Transmetal 2 Megatron. So ever since then, he's been rumored, he's been shelved, and he was casted aside, and nobody knew what was going to be done with him after he was scrapped 2 years ago, or pretty much 3 years ago now at this point. And now we finally know he is coming out at some point this year. I'm assuming later on this summer or early fall within the comic subline. So finally, after 3 years, we have a STRAXUS, and he's more than likely going to be a Kingdom Galvatron retool, because that was the original rumor for him 2-3 years ago. And especially for a comic subline like this that probably doesn't have as much budget as the main line, mostly these exclusive sublines, it's mostly either repaints or retools, heavy retools with the occasional new mold here and there, but it's mostly just repaints and retools. So I'm assuming the STRAXUS is going to be either a slight retool of Galvatron or an extensive retool. I'm hoping for the latter, obviously, because there's a lot of different elements between Galvatron and STRAXUS's design. There are some similarities, which it does make sense, which is why it does make sense that he's coming from Galvatron. One of those third-party companies a couple years ago even did a remold of Galvatron into STRAXUS, so it can be done, and it can look pretty great and accurate to his design from the Marvel G1 comics. So I'm really excited for STRAXUS, because, correct me if I'm wrong, he is one of the more powerful and high-ranking Decepticons, at least from the G1 continuity, so it would be very, very pleasing to get him done finally within the modern era, because I'm pretty sure the last time we got him was 14 years ago in the 2010 Generations line, and that dude was only a deluxe, which really, really sucks. He obviously doesn't scale with anything except for maybe core class or certain deluxe class characters like Megatron or Optimus that they've done over the years. So it is really, really good that we're finally getting a leader class STRAXUS. It kind of does suck that it's in the comic subline, because he's probably going to have the cell shading. He's probably going to have brighter, different colors than what the regular Generations Legacy line would have. So he's probably going to stand out if you just put him with your regular Generations figures, but he'll probably fit right in line with the rest of the comic subline, like Grimlock and Shockwave and whatever else they're going to be doing, because they did tease that there's going to be a couple more characters within this comic subline this year, and I'm really excited to see who it's going to be. If I had to guess, maybe a Marvel Comics Soundwave, because he's been rumored for a couple years now, and maybe to close it off, Marvel Comics Optimus Prime, I don't know, or maybe a Marvel Comics Starscream or Megatron, maybe to get one last use out of the Siege or Earthrise mold for Megatron before the Studio Series 86 Megatron comes out next year. That would also be a good guess in my opinion, but who knows. I'm really excited for the STRAXUS. Now going into the Studio Series wave itself, First one here is Studio Series Bumblebee movie Skywarp. It's obviously going to be a repaint of the Starscream mold. Not much to talk about there. Pretty excited that we're going to be closer to completing, you know, the Seeker army that we've seen on the Cybertron scene in the B movie. So that's pretty cool. And then next we have a Decepticon soldier from the War for Cybertron game. Finally, we're getting some more army builders within Transformers. And what better way to do it than from the War for Cybertron game? And this looks pretty dope. I'm really excited to... Well, I said it looks pretty dope. We don't even know how the figure's going to look yet. But I'm really excited to see what they're going to do here with this Decepticon infantry. From the listings, I think he was supposed to be a deluxe. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him for deluxe price point. I kind of wish he was a Voyager, but again, it is what it is. I really don't care as long as the army builder comes out good, you know. And we have an A-level deluxe 86 Bumblebee. Now, there's a lot of discourse over this figure because we don't know if it's going to be a straight-up repaint or remold of the Netflix Bumblebee from a few years back with just solid plastic windows like what they've been doing the past couple years with certain figures and reissued characters like Cup and Cliff Jumper for SS86. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do. And if it is a new mold, do they or do they not have the licensing from Volkswagen for the vehicle mode? That's the big question, because this guy is an SS86 figure and it's obviously, you know, the Volkswagen mode. So it would make sense that they would want to go for movie accuracy and get that Volkswagen licensing again. Especially for a Studio Series, you know, the toy line that's most known for getting licensed vehicles within the toy line. So hopefully they do get the Volkswagen licensing again, because I would hate for it to be some weird off-brand car mode for an SS86 Bumblebee. But when it comes to the Generations Bumblebee, they did him just fine with a Volkswagen, but he was a hard-to-find Walmart exclusive 4.5 years ago, you know. It would suck if it happened that way, but I'm really excited to see how this Bumblebee turns out, because they were really teasing that this Bumblebee hit all the beats. Mark was talking about how this Bumblebee is like pretty much the perfect Generations Bumblebee you could ask for. It hits all the beats that he himself looks for in a Bumblebee. So they're really hyping this figure up. So hopefully that hype turns into a reality in this figure's quality and it's actually a really great deluxe class, because I've had a love-hate relationship with Bumblebee figures within the Generations line. You know, I thought the Classics figure was pretty good. It still holds up to today's standards. The Titans Return core class figure really sucked in my opinion. I don't really like the Earthrise mold too much, the Netflix Bumblebee. The Saucer Bee was great, but it was just because of all that kibble that made it a bit of a mess. Even though you can remove the kibble, it's a bit weird. So hopefully this Bumblebee is finally the definitive G1 Bumblebee within the Generations line. And next for core class, the only core class of the wave is 86 Steeljaw. Continuing Blaster's cassettes, which I love to see. Hopefully we get the complete cassettes for Blaster at some point soon, hopefully next year it seems like maybe. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to do Steeljaw at a $10 core class. Hopefully he's nicely proportioned, nicely articulated. The what is he supposed to be, a tiger? Hopefully the tiger mode looks good and it's not half-assed like what they've done in the past with previous cassettes like Steeljaw and Ravage, because I don't have a lot of hope for these cassettes sometimes, because a lot of them have been pretty trash in my opinion, but hopefully this Steeljaw is good. And the last one here is a Leader Class 86 Springer. We've known about this for months now from the listings, pretty much all these figures except for STRAXUS, but the new information here is that he is a partial of Siege Springer. Now, this has caused quite a bit of uproar the past couple of hours. He's a Leader Class, $20 more than him being a Voyager Class a few years ago, and he's being a partial of that Voyager at a Leader Class. That was to be expected in my opinion. I didn't think he was going to be a completely and all new mold. So I don't know why people are so surprised at that, and I don't know why people are thinking that it's just going to be the Voyager with a couple new parts, but released as a leader class. If you guys follow what Hasbro's been doing the past 4 or 5 years with leader class, he's likely going to come with quite a few accessories. He's going to be a heavy retool probably. They're probably just going to reuse the forearms, the midsection, and the waist. That's probably all they're going to reuse from the Siege Springer, and everything else is going to be new, because even the designers mentioned in the stream that they're going to try to get this to be as close as possible to the animation model from the movie, which that would mean that they would have to retool a hell of a lot more than just it being a slight retool from the Siege Voyager. So he's probably going to have new guns. He's probably going to have a lot more remolded parts than people are thinking, because, I mean, it just doesn't make sense with how they've been doing leader class figures the past 4 or 5 years for him to just be a straight up re-release of the Voyager class, but $20 more with slightly better remolded parts here and there. You know, it just doesn't make sense at all. So I think Springer's going to be fine. He's going to be a heavy retool of the Siege figure, and he's going to come with quite a bit of accessories, some nice features like most of these leader class figures the past few years have came with. So yeah, I don't think this Springer is going to be all doom and gloom like people are making it out to be, but we'll have to see how this guy turns out and how this whole wave turns out, including the comic book STRAXUS figure. Hopefully all these figures are bangers, but at least one of these figures are bound to be mid or subpar. My money is on the infantry soldier. You know, the War for Cybertron game stuff have not been the strongest from Studio Series, so that may or may not continue with this soldier here. I hope not. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below, what do y'all think about these pipeline reveals? Are you excited for a leader class Springer, a leader class STRAXUS, a new 86 Bumblebee, some army builders from War for Cybertron, Steeljaw, Skywarp from the B movie? Let me know. All my social medias are linked down below. My email is also down below if y'all want to hit me up about business inquiries, if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to subscribe to my new Patreon, a link down below. It's got tons of exclusive content that you won't see here on YouTube or anywhere else, such as exclusive stop motions, Transformers photography. You guys get Discord access. You guys get 1 week advance before everybody else here on YouTube to my stop motion films. You guys get behind the scenes of my projects. You guys get sneak peeks at stuff I'm working on. You guys get music from my stop motion films, music snippets from unreleased soundtracks of mine. So yeah, if y'all want to help support me and help support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!